Hi, this is Josh Beiser from GameWisdom.com. Hope you enjoyed this Game Industry Insight, a look behind the scenes at game development. And be sure to subscribe and you can pitch future video topics. Alright everybody, for today's Industry Insight, we have not one but three separate little topics I want to talk about. But the first big one will have to be with Take-Two, and the kind of kerfluffle they got into this past week. So, if you don't know, Grand Theft Auto, the series and its like, have become very popular on the PC thanks to modding support. Because obviously, with the open platform of the PC has lent itself really well to designing all manner of mods. From small things like just, infinite ammo, infinite money, to crazy stuff like putting in the DeLorean, having Superman fly around, to the absolute insane with a full-on Rick and Morty mod when you can summon, I can't let forget the name of those guys, the Look at Me people, which I'm sure everyone's going to yell at for forgetting right now. But Grand Theft Auto, and as well as Max Payne 3, have all been using an open source engine or open source modding tool called Open4. And this has been going on now for about a decade. Rockstar never really complained about it. They've really embraced the modding community, and there are a lot of people who've been creating mods for Grand Theft Auto 4, 5, Liberty City Stories, and the like. Well, this week things change, with Take-Two issuing a cease and desist to the makers of Open4, and it did not go well, to say the least. What happened is basically whenever a major company issues a cease and desist letter to someone small, be it a modder, fan made game, stuff like that, this is basically the kiss of death. Because even if the company is in the wrong, they can still just pretty much win with litigation. And right now, I am just double checking to make sure that I know the exact name. I was right. So it is Open4. That was the modding tool. So, with the cease and desist, basically the smaller company has two options. Either abide by the wishes of the larger company, no matter how right or wrong they are, or attempt to fight it. And unfortunately, fighting it costs lots of money. You will need to hire an attorney. You may have to have someone appear in court, and all that can really add up, especially if you're making something that is free or really isn't earning you any money. And this is why for most freeware projects or fan-made content, when the cease and desist comes down, that's it. It's game over for them. And this has got a lot of modders very unhappy with Take-Two. Because like I said, this has been happening for just about a decade, I think, Open4 has been used for. And to have it be shut down now really does seem like a slap in the face. Now, we've talked about the gray area of mods in the past. Whenever you're modding a video game, be it a simply like changing files to as high up as partial and full conversion, you are still working within the confines of said game. It's why you really can't sell mods, because you're using someone else's content and someone else's game. And most game creators have been very lax when it comes to mods, especially even if they use copyright images and content, as we've talked about with Bethesda's Creation Club earlier this week. And because it is considered free, the companies just pretty much let it go because of the obvious fact that it greatly extends the life of a game and helps to bring a community and fans closer together. Again, we can look at games like Skyrim, Oblivion, and even stuff like what Valve kind of saw with Team Fortress, with a way for content creators to give back to the community. There we go. And basically, it's a win-win. The content creators get a little bit of publicity, and they maybe get some Patreon support. The game gets more content for everyone to enjoy, and the developer and publisher are seen as decent folks who are willing to let things go. And like I said, when this works, it can keep a game going for a very long time, even way beyond the game's development lifespan, be it through retail and any kind of post-expansion or DLC content. So that's why Take-Two coming down like this is a very surprising move and a very punishing move nonetheless. Like I said, if you're going to do something like this, you have to set a precedent early. You don't wait 10 years and say, oh, we don't want you doing this anymore. Because you've kind of let the cat out of the bag by now. Like, if Take-Two and Rockstar said after, 2 weeks of this happening, we don't like this, would you please stop it, we don't want you to do it, it would suck, but it wouldn't hurt as bad because the scene hasn't really taken off yet. But when you wait this long and there are so many people out there doing it, again, it seems like a really big punch to the face of fans. And those fans have certainly let Take-Two have it. There have been reports that Take-Two stock went from like here to like that in a day. And I'm sure there are a lot of people getting ready to write some very nasty messages to Take-Two. I know the Reddit forums I saw for, I think, Grand Theft Auto or for the mod itself were pretty much lit with a lot of unhappy people. Now, with that said, the flip side, of course, of the matter is whenever we talk about issues like this in fair use, it is ultimately the company's discretion to either keep or pull this kind of stuff. Again, when you're dealing with someone else's assets or engine or anything like that, they ultimately have final say. It's what we talked about with Nintendo and their opinions of fair use. But it's typically seen as being, good PR to support practices, especially when you have people willing to make content for you. And even though Take-Two, like I said with Nintendo, they are within the legal right, I don't think they're in the moral right for this. And again, I'm recording this late Friday night, so maybe over the weekend Take-Two will change their minds. But again, this just seems like a very weird reaction. Like, from the outside, it looks like this came out of nowhere, but there's this voice in my head that's saying maybe they're trying to have their own modding tools. This is the official modding for all your Grand Theft Auto needs, and all you have to do is give us $5 or $10 or something like that. Now, in a press release, Take-Two did say that the reason why they're doing it now was that they found that people are doing some kind of security exploit using the Open4 platform or the Open4 tool. Open4 tools. There you go. And unfortunately, I don't know enough about the software tool about what they're saying to confirm or deny it. But nevertheless, again, when you're dealing with something that's over or getting close to a decade old, there has to be a better way to handle it than just, burning the structure and salting the earth, essentially. So I know this will probably be a very straightforward answer, but what do you folks think about that? Let me know in the comments below. Now, that said, we have two bonus pieces of news I want to talk about briefly. The first one is basically another exhibit of Konami being real SOBs. It's been reported this week that Konami is basically not only, when they let people go, it's been very much a rough relationship, but they've been going out of their ways to make people who leave Konami make their lives a living hell. Reports from Gamasutra have said that there's been examples of them basically blacklisting people, so that if you try to say that you work at Konami on your resume and you go to apply for another job, if they contact Konami, they will basically, do everything they can to keep you from that job. And it's very easy for that to happen, too. But the real damning piece was that someone else reported that they applied for health insurance, and one of the people at the major health insurance company in Japan, I think, was either has a seat at Konami or knows someone at Konami, and they basically turned down this person's application for health insurance. And that really doesn't sit well with me. As someone who suffers from medical problems of my own, hearing the stories about a company basically going out of their way to make someone's health worse really pisses me off. And I'm kind of glad that I don't really care about Konami anymore, because stuff like that would basically result in a lifetime ban of playing their games. Which, it's kind of good that it doesn't seem like there's any new great Castlevania games anymore. Hideo Kojima is no longer on Metal Gear, so I guess I really don't have anything else to play from Konami anymore. But yeah, very distasteful practice from them. But to end things on the lighter side or the good side, it's been reported that IO Interactive has managed to survive their unfortunately breakup from Square Enix. It has been reported that they are now officially an indie studio. Again, if we start talking about what is and what's considered an indie developer, we'll be here for another 10-15 minutes. But that they have reclaimed full ownership of the Hitman IP. So, sadly, they did have some massive layovers over the last month or so. And again, to those of you who were let go from IO Interactive, I do wish you guys the best of luck in terms of either finding new work or maybe going back there once they've got another project. Again, the future is up for grabs, but it is nice that they did get the IP back. Many cases when it comes to dealing with publishers that depending upon how the contract was negotiated, the publisher may take ownership over the IP from the smaller company. But it sounds like they have the property back, which it will be interesting to see what they do going forward. Again, Hitman 2016 may have been polarizing in terms of its its season-based content, but everyone who's played it all the way through, especially longtime fans, I've heard nothing but praise in terms of its design. So, fingers crossed that they'll be able to get a publisher to continue things, and maybe try things again with a Hitman Season 2. But, with that said, that's going to do it for today's Industry Insight. Hope you enjoyed it. We kind of did 3 for the price of 1. For any of the stories that I talked about, let me know what you think below. But again, the main topic was about the issue of Open 4 and Take-Two. So, like I said, things may come around, but this is one of those really important lessons from developers and publishers alike. Once you've set something up or let something go, it looks really bad on you if you turn your back on that. This was one of the big things about the Steam Workshop from 2015 when you take all these free mods from Skyrim and then one day say, oh, now you can sell them, and the whole massive outrage that happened there. We still haven't heard any new news regarding the Creation Club, but I am certainly going to be keeping an eye and an ear open for any of that coming forward. But with that said, thank you so much for watching today's Industry Insight. If you're new and you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check back for daily design discussions here and on GameWisdom.com, where we examine the art and science of games. Until next time, have a great day. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And come back around 10 Eastern for regular streaming. For a collection of my writings as well as weekly podcasts on game development, be sure to check out game-wisdom.com. Follow me on Twitter at GWBicer for updates throughout the day. And to help support everything that I do, you can find me on Patreon under GWBicer or Game Wisdom. Your donations can help to keep things running, and we hit some goals, it will mean more content for everyone to enjoy. So, thanks again for watching, and be sure to come back for daily discussions on game design on the Game Wisdom channel.